guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm RexFinance, and today I'm going to be discussing why I am choosing not to buy companies like Marathon Digital Holdings, but instead I'm choosing to buy companies like RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark. This all has to do with the fact that some 75% of the world's Bitcoin mining is done in China currently. If you've kept up with Bitcoin at all, you would know that China has been cracking down on the cryptocurrency for years now, but just recently they've started to crack down on the mining itself. So what's going to happen is 75% of the world's Bitcoin mining output is going to have to relocate away from China and into other countries and regions such as the United States of America. According to my findings, the companies like RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark are poised to take advantage of this opportunity, further increasing their revenues and profit margins. Companies like Marathon Digital Holdings, on the other hand, aren't so poised to take advantage of this opportunity. I'll be explaining why throughout this video. But just as a preface, this video is by no means meant to be me bashing Marathon Digital Holdings or its shareholders. I still think if you're invested in Marathon, you're going to make a lot of money as an investor if Bitcoin prices cooperate. Whether you're invested in RIOT Blockchain, CleanSpark, or Marathon Digital Holdings, I think it's worth your time to listen to this video and hear me out on this. But before we get into the good stuff, I just have to say a massive thank you to John and Elvis himself for recently subscribing to the channel. I also want to say to Meher for recently upgrading your Rex Nation membership. And I also want to say thank you to Elopen for rejoining Rex Nation. If you guys want to join the Discord server, get my buy and sell alerts, all that good stuff, hit the join button down below located right next to the subscribe button. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the good stuff. This video is going to be a bit shorter just because I know it's Friday and people have stuff to do. But again, please hear me out with this video. To start things off, let's discuss the main difference between Marathon Digital Holdings, RIOT Blockchain, and CleanSpark. Why is it that I like companies like RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark over Marathon Digital Holdings to take advantage of this opportunity with 75% of the world's Bitcoin mining output switching locations from China to other countries like the United States? Well, it all starts with this. Marathon Digital Holdings does not own its Bitcoin mining facilities. They pay hosting fees to other companies to host their Bitcoin miners. What this does is it increases their cost of mining. As we can see, the CEO of Marathon Digital Holdings said this: "Currently, we believe the cost to operate our second facility will be similar to the industry-leading rates we have at our hardened facility, 0.028 per kilowatt hour for power and 0.006 per kilowatt hour for hosting operations." What this basically means is Marathon is paying an extra 20 to 30% on their Bitcoin mining operations, decreasing their profit margins. Now, it's important to note that the hosting fee is generally a variable fee depending on what Bitcoin prices are currently doing. Marathon CEO said this on December 9th of 2020. If we look at the chart of Bitcoin, we can see on December 9th, Bitcoin was trading at $18,500 per Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin has shown some weakness recently, they're still trading at a massive premium to what they were trading at on December 9th. Currently, Bitcoin is trading at $32,800 per Bitcoin. So it's safe to say that this variable hosting fee for Marathon has likely increased, which increases their power bill, decreasing their overall margins on their Bitcoin mining. To provide some more detail on this and to prove that Marathon is actually paying a hosting fee, let's look at their 10Q. In their latest 10Q, they directly mention its hosting partner Compute North, word for word, and also its hosting facility in Montana. Now, Compute North is who is going to host Marathon's Bitcoin miners in Texas. In fact, they're going to host 70,000 Marathon Bitcoin miners at the new Texas data center. Again, this is going to force Marathon to pay a hosting fee to Compute North, which decreases their margins. So you may be wondering right now, Rex, you're kind of spouting on about this profit margin stuff, but why does it matter with what's going on with China? Well, I'll get into that now. Because Marathon does not own its own data centers, they are paying to host their miners at other people's data centers. The main difference between Marathon and RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark is that RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark own their own data centers. RIOT Blockchain would be in the same boat as Marathon if it weren't for its recent acquisition of Whinstone, which hosts Bitcoin miners. In particular, Whinstone hosts Bitcoin mining operations for institutional clients. Currently, Whinstone has about 300 megawatts of developed power capacity with the ability to increase that to 750 megawatts. If and only if RIOT Blockchain chooses to increase its power capacity at this facility, they can begin to host these Bitcoin miners that are coming from China. They have this luxury because they own this plant. They own this hosting facility. Where on the other hand, Marathon Digital Holdings does not own any of its facilities. They choose to pay hosters to host their Bitcoin miners. RIOT Blockchain is on the other side of the equation now, where they can get paid to host these Bitcoin miners. Now, to be fair to Marathon, RIOT Blockchain actually still pays another hosting facility to host their own Bitcoin miners despite owning this Whinstone facility. Many of RIOT Blockchain's miners are hosted by CoinMint, which is in New York. So you can see in their SEC filing that they also have to pay a variable CoinMint hosting fee. Just to review, this increases their cost of revenues and decreases their overall profitability of their Bitcoin mining operations. So between Marathon Digital Holdings and RIOT Blockchain, if you had to choose one that is more likely to take advantage of this shift from China to the United States for Bitcoin miners, really, RIOT Blockchain is way better poised to take advantage of this opportunity. But if we get into CleanSpark, and to be fair, I am probably a little bit biased here, but the facts speak for themselves. When we look into CleanSpark, they actually own the entire facility that their Bitcoin mining operations stand on. ATL Data Centers is the company that CleanSpark acquired last year at the end of 2020. ATL pays 2.85 cents per kilowatt hour, and Marathon pays 2.8 cents per kilowatt hour. So when you first look at this, it appears that Marathon has ATL Data Centers and CleanSpark beat with their total power cost. But what CleanSpark doesn't have is this 0.006 per kilowatt hour hosting fee. And again, this is a variable rate, so the 0.006 fee has likely gone up. But just to use the numbers we've been given as a fact from Marathon, they actually pay 3.4 cents per kilowatt hour as of early December. Again, that's probably likely higher now that the Bitcoin prices have increased, which probably increases that hosting fee. So in reality, thanks to CleanSpark owning this facility outright, they don't have to pay that hosting fee, and their overall expenses are much less, 20 to 25% less, which increases their profit margins. And you can probably see where this is going. Because CleanSpark owns this facility, they have the opportunity to host other Bitcoin miners coming from China and into the United States of America. And instead of paying that 0.006 hosting fee, they're going to be receiving that, increasing their profit margins instead of decreasing their profit margins like in Marathon's case. I've already stated that in this scenario, I would choose RIOT Blockchain over Marathon Digital Holdings just thanks to their recent acquisition of Whinstone, which allows them to host these other miners that are going to be coming from China. But if we really want to get technical and I have to choose between RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark, again, I'm probably biased, but I'm going to choose CleanSpark. But let me explain why. RIOT Blockchain doesn't have an underlying business. CleanSpark does. They have been focused on energy since their inception. They focus on microgrids, which prevents power outages. Power outages can not only cost a lot of money for Bitcoin mining operations, but they can also decrease the overall revenues dramatically. So to start things off, RIOT Blockchain's Whinstone is located in Texas, which has been prone to many power outages over the last several years, and it's going to be the same case again this year, this summer. In CleanSpark's case, ATL Data Centers is located in Georgia. Sure, Georgia has had its own share of power outages. However, again, the difference is CleanSpark is focused on microgrids. That's their underlying business, where they focus on eliminating the risk of power outages. Again, power outages cost Bitcoin mining operators lots and lots of money. Another thing I want to note is that CleanSpark's Bitcoin mining operation is 95% carbon free, with a plan to reach 98% carbon free. However, in Whinstone's case, or RIOT Blockchain's case, located in Texas, Whinstone is not even remotely green. We haven't been given exact numbers, but we do know that RIOT Blockchain and Whinstone are likely going to have to look into buying carbon offset credits. Obviously, what a carbon offset credit is you pay to receive credits so that you don't have to be carbon free yourselves as a business. But what this does is it's another expense out of RIOT Blockchain's pocket, decreasing their margins. So although they do own their own hosting facility, which I think is big for this transition from China to the United States of America, they're still paying a lot of money and they're not green. So just for a second, I'm going to try and put myself in the shoes of a Bitcoin miner in China looking to move to the United States of America. If I have to choose between Texas and Georgia, I likely choose Georgia because Texas is very prone to power outages, not only in the summer, but also the winter. Then from the outside looking in, if I'm looking at a facility that is 95 to 98% carbon free versus a facility that's going to have to pay carbon offset credits, and I know that the United States is having a big push for carbon-free Bitcoin mining, I'm likely going to choose the more carbon-free facility. So if I have to choose between CleanSpark, RIOT Blockchain, and Marathon, I would choose CleanSpark. But if I have to choose between RIOT Blockchain and Marathon, I choose RIOT Blockchain. CleanSpark and RIOT Blockchain are set to take advantage of this opportunity. It's important to note that RIOT Blockchain and CleanSpark are not the only two companies out there that would benefit from this. What you need to look for are Bitcoin miners that own their own facilities and don't pay a hosting fee to another company to host their Bitcoin miners. It's also important to note that Marathon Digital Holdings is not by any means the only company that pays other companies to host their Bitcoin miners. In fact, I would say the majority of public and private companies pay other companies to host their miners. So again, by no means did I mean to attack Marathon or their shareholders in this video, because they're not alone in this fight. However, the reason I chose Marathon in this video is because they're the most prominent and well-known, much to the success of the management team and shareholders at Marathon. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Let me know down in the comment section down below whether you agree with me here or not. Let me know if you'd choose CleanSpark, Riot, or Marathon Digital Holdings in this particular scenario. If you guys enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like button down below. And lastly, if you guys are new here, returning and not yet subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. With that, I'll be back with a brand new video on Monday. Have a great weekend. Peace out.